Hey, everybody, welcome back for day 59 of 100 Days of Halloween. I hope you are doing well and have had a great week. Yes, it is Friday. Um, I hope you guys have some fun plans in store for the weekend. Myself, today in our little town square, they have it blocked off, and it started about almost an hour ago and it goes till 9 o'clock. They have something that they do annually called the Art Walk, and where they have a lot of local artisans set up booths down on our town square, and they have um, some other booths that have some crafty things. At least they did last year, and like home baked goods, just a little bit of everything. And I think last year they had some live music going on. We have a local book author, which I'm going down there because he just came out with his fourth book in a series, and I have all of his books so far, and I need to go get that one. So, yes. So, back to 100 Days of Halloween. I just got off on a whole big weekend tangent. So, what am I doing? Well, me and my yarny friends and sisters, and our main ringleader, which is Ranee over at the Woolly Llama Shop, she had discussed with several of us in a live that she wanted to do a Halloween themed blanket for the 100 Days of Halloween, which was quickly approaching. And she had let us know that rather than like a blanket that in all its glory is going to continually grow as she's working on it, her bright idea was to do a square a day, about 6 inch by 6 inch, to build this blanket by doing one every day for the 100 days. I thought it was a brilliant idea. I was on board. I told her I was going to join in solidarity because I'd been wanting to do one. And my Sirdar kit didn't make it in time. So, hey, that we went on for bigger and better things. And we are so enjoying the ride and having so much fun. And so, Rainey being the ringleader, was very structured with hers. She had compiled this list of all these different squares or appliques that are Halloween or fall themed. And she's been drawing them out at random out of the Jinxed Jack o' Lantern of Joy to provide you guys with a free pattern, tutorial, what have you, each day for a square. Even if you're not making a blanket or squares, you can still use them on other Halloween fall themed projects. And by the way, I've gotten one submission on a fall themed project. So if any of you others are making anything, send us some pictures. And I will be getting that photo put in a video, I think this weekend. So be looking for that. Um, so we do have some other Yarny sisters involved, and they are not making the blankets. We have Patricia over at the Yarny Cat Crochet. She is making different items. She first did a fall themed, I want to call it a messenger bag. I think she calls it a cell phone bag. Super cute. The video link is in there. Um, then she made a matching scarf, super adorable. And now she has finished an amigurumi, and I think I need to grab a link to that video and put in the description box. I will try and remember to do that. It is super cute. And then we have Nova over at Nova Gnome Creations, who has been working on her squares to make wearables for her and some near and dear littles in her life. And she's being very secretive, and she's not going to show us. She's showing us updates on the squares, but we're not seeing updates on the projects until she is hosting her 13 Days of Halloween next month. And I am anxiously anticipating that. So, um, back to Rainy, and she has pivoted a few times on her blanket due to blocks being a little larger, what have you. But she is being very creative and just going with the flow and enjoying the process, much like myself, which have not been structured. I am throwing caution to the wind, creativity to the winds, what have you, taking inspiration from you guys taking inspiration from Ranee, from Nova, from Patricia, from all over the place. Or even sometimes I see a photo online or something on TV and inspiration strikes me and I just go with it. If I cannot find a tutorial or a written pattern that is free, I am freehanding and putting all the information in the description box for each day's square. And so if you see something you like, you can go in there and get the information for that. The only things that won't have like a link to a blog post or a tutorial are the ones I freehanded because there is no patterns as of yet. So let's get with it. And um, I was going to say, let's check out squares 51 through today's 59, but I need to let the new people because I do have some newbies. And welcome in, welcome in. We hope to get to know you. We have finished the squares. I'm doing them in blocks of 10. So 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, 31 through 40, and 41 through 50. And I am making video shorts that encompass a little recap of each of those group of 10 before I feed them into my blanket. And so now we are up through the group of 10 from 51 through 60, and today is day 59. So let's get with it. So, day 51 square that we drew at random, and yes, I have been drawing squares at random from my Boo Box of Fate, was this tricolored orange. And my uncle texted me immediately upon seeing the video, did not like the square, and said, cover it up. We had a conversation. He gave me some inspiration, and this is what I went with, this goth vibe. So I made a casket, some little black rosettes. The only thing freehanded was the vine with the leafy bits. All the information for the casket and the rosettes, the video for that, are in the description box. So that was day 51. Then day 52 square that we drew at random was another of the Sirdar spiral squares. I said it slow so I get it right. Um, and no matter what I think of or what I try, if I put an applique on any of these, it's just going to cover it up and it's not going to look right. So I'm leaving them blank. So that was day 52. And then day 53, we drew out hot pink or fuchsia sparkle. And of course, I found a new kitty. It is a pattern from a garland. So I had to use the kitty on this sparkly fuchsia hot pinkish square. And so that was day 53. Then day 54, we drew out this concentric circles, say that 10 times fast, granny square. And upon looking at it, it was giving me like monster vibes for an eyeball. And even Sam from Memphis Makes said the same thing. It was giving her like ogre vibes. So I totally agree. And so we left it blank and we weren't going to cover nothing up. So that was day 54. Then for day 55 square, we drew out this really dark brick red. And normally I don't get inspiration like pop into my head like right away as soon as I pull it out. But this one I did. And the square was speaking to me and said exactly what it wanted. And it wanted a vampire. I was not able to locate a pattern, either a tutorial or written anywhere online for free. And there may be some out there, but if there was, I missed them. So I went ahead and freehanded everything. It was just some simple circle with a lot of single crochet, a rectangle. The only thing that was a little tricky was the cape part, but I just kept working with it till I got the right size, gave him a little bow tie. And yes, he has his little teethy fangs. So there was day 55. Then for day 56 square, we drew out pink again, but it was like neon pink. And I was trying to figure out what to put on it, and I was digging through my box of unfinished appliques. It's like where the appliques go to live until they get used or finished. And I had one that was a plain skull that I didn't end up using way back when Nova dropped her tutorial for her skull and crossbones applique that she made just for this 100 Days of Halloween make along. So I went ahead and pulled it out and I dressed it up and I gave it a sugar skull vibe because sugar skulls are always on a bright background and have bright colors, very festive and everything. So we dressed up the plain skull, made it a sugar skull. Um, the lady on her blog did have one picture that was kind of inspiration, but I did it my own way. Even though her pattern is just for the skull part, not for the embellishing and decorating. So that was day 56. Then for day 57, we drew out solid black. And I was trying to figure out what to put on it because it was so dark and I wanted to do something fun. And we hadn't done a ghosty in a little bit. And I had those little appliques that I've been working on. That is the group of 5, I think, trick-or-treating ghosties. So I did one of the trick-or-treating ghosties that holds a pumpkin. I just made a couple extra pumpkins from the pattern and made it look like Ghosty was in a pumpkin patch. So that was day 56. No, 57. Day 57. I'm losing it. So then for day 58, we drew out this very bright orange. And I had something stuck in my head from um, one of you guys that had been putting guesses and suggestions in every day. And I'd been wanting to do it, and I finally got inspired. And Nova, Nova, Sweet Nova from Nova Gnome Creations. She was the one that kept bringing it up. If anybody else ever mentioned the one-eyed, one-horned flying purple people eater, I don't remember, but Nova has brought it up on multiple occasions. So all I did was I found the pattern for the eye on Repeat Crafter Me. It's her cartoon eye. And so I went with the pattern. She's got more than one size. I think this one's the small. And I just did a circle until I got it as big as I wanted. Then just did some chains and single and half crochets. And I had put little stitch markers in where I wanted the arms and the legs and all that. And then the little ghosty trick-or-treaters, one of them is a bat ghosty for the Halloween clan. And so I just went ahead and made the little bat wings that is for that pattern. And there he was with the one-eyed, one-horned flying purple people eater. And I think he turned out adorable. He's actually one of my favorites. He's right up there with all my kitties because we know I'm obsessed with the black cats. So there was that. And then yesterday we drew out a very vibrant red square. And I said I was going to sneak in probably and look at what you guys were saying you wanted to see on the square and see if I could put one of your suggestions to use because I'm trying to implement you guys. Well, one of them I realized has been said several times, and let me pull it up. I want to say it was Karen. Let me get to the comments. Okay. Nova. Oh, she said my monster was perfection. Thank you. Better than I could have pictured. He was better than what I pictured, actually. Great job. I can't wait to see who she picked today. She also that is my Cynthia. Well, I am sure she is part of other communities. I'm lost. Nova, you're gonna have to elaborate. I have no idea what you're talking about. Karen thinks the one-eyed, one-horned flying purple people eater is cute. I think the witches legs and west. Maybe she means witches' legs and shoes would be really good on that bright red. And she has suggested that one multiple times, as well as some other people. Patricia from Yarny Cat Crochet. said the monster was awesome. I'm sure she's going to love it, meaning Nova. I guess a green caramel apple with caramel sauce dripping off of it. And I was trying to work kind of on that, but it was kind of just bleeding into the red because of the caramel sauce. So that one is still going to be on the list for another day. So we will be working on that. We just need the right color square. Find your joy. I love the purple people eater. He's adorable, so creative. How about a scar face like a Chucky doll? Oh my gosh. I've been lurking, but I think this is my first comment. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you did comment. That is by Find Your Joy. Thank you for commenting. Chucky doll. That has to be one of the all-time Halloween movies that I don't watch. That doll literally creeps me out. I can watch some very creepy movies during spooky season. I just don't know what it is about Chucky. But you never know. We may. So that will go on the list for sure. Um, and then Sam from Memphis Makes said there must have been a glitch because you didn't read my suggestion. So I will put the same suggestion again. A magic wand with magic sparks shooting out of it and around it. Love today's square. You did so good with it. He is so cute. Thank you. Yeah, there must have been a glitch because I did not see it yesterday, Sam. I'm glad I saw it today. So I was kind of working on a wand too. But no matter which shade of brown, it just wasn't looking right on how vibrant that red was. So I put your magic wand on the list, Sam. It is on my list. Um, so I thought since the square was so vibrant, there's the red. I wish you could see how bright red it is. It's almost like a low iron kind of red blood, kind of. If you've ever had low iron and you're bleeding and you know how bright red that is, that's the square. So, out of the suggestions, I thought because we really haven't done very much witchy stuff. We did a witch little gnome with the curly locks on it, and we haven't done a witch since. So, I thought the witchy legs with witchy boots would be perfect. But Missy was really tired last night. I had a really long, busy day. And so when Missy was working on the appliques and working them up, and I was so excited, I wasn't thinking about like laying them on the square to make sure they were going to fit. No. And I don't know why. Well, I do because I was tired. So by the time I got them done and I went to go pin them on, they were really big. So they're really big. And I mean, like super big compared to the square, which is like this size. And for them to be put on there, they're like huge. So I'm either going to have to figure out how I did them in downsize, make them smaller, or figure out a way to implement them on a square because I know they're going to overtake and go on to adjoining squares. So I still may do that. They're going to go in my little box of fun things that need to go on squares or something. And I like how they turned out. They've got the little curl up here. I just needed to embroider the buckle. Um, but I was super disappointed because I really should have paid attention to how the square. So, yeah. Rainy, I know you feel my pain on this one because you've made some things that the squares are a lot larger. But the way I'm doing my blanket, it won't work. So, yeah, I'm going to have to figure it out whether I'm going to have to pull. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out though, because they are going to go on there. Um, Thank you, Karen, for the inspiration for the witch legs and the boots. They definitely, because it was Karen, right? Yes, Karen Smith. They definitely are going on my blanket somehow, some way. I will make them work. They just didn't go on this square. So be watching, because I'm going to figure out how to get them on there. So yeah. So I'm going to keep these right here and take them in there and put them next to my chair so we can figure that out. So what did I end up putting on the red square? Well, um, when I realized that the witchy legs and boots were way too big, I kind of, I almost had a meltdown because I've been so tired. Um, and so I went through my little box of appliques that either are partway done or need a home on a square. And we hadn't had one of these yet. So I put on here a pumpkin pie. And yes, the whip topping is 3D. It's just a swirly where I just kept doing like half doubles, doubles, and made a swirly, and then wrapped it and sewed it all on the bottom, and then I sewed it on my pumpkin pie. And all it was a circle until I got it as big as I want. And then I did a row of single crochet around it in the pie crust color. And then for the second row of the pie crust, to make it look like the crust, I did chain one, slip stitch, chain one, slip stitch, chain one, slip stitch, all the way around, and it made it look like the pie crust. So that is day 59 square. I put my pumpkin pie with the dollop of sour cream on the square, seeing the witchy legs and boots were too big. But they are getting used because I worked hard on those. So I'm going to figure it out, even if I have to pull squares that match out of that box and do them in advance and let y'all know later. So, yeah. So we did pumpkin pie with a 3D dollop. There we go. And I like how the crust turned out because it looks like a real pie crust that my grandma used to do. So there we go, day 59. So that leads us to drawing a random square for tomorrow for day 60. Wow, I cannot believe we're on day 60. All right, guys, let's see what we're going to get. Oh, what do we got? Ooh, we haven't had this. It's an evil eye square. That is tomorrow's square for day 60. And guess what, guys? We won't be covering this up. So you can still put some suggestion and guesses in the box because I'm writing them down. They're not all going into that jar. Pulling out that jar at random was really hard because a lot of times I realized that some of the suggestions don't match the color of square we've pulled, because the colors I would have to use, and I don't want to use weird colors just because of a square color. So I'm leaving the jar for right now, but I am writing you guys' suggestions down because I do want to pick from them on something that'll match the square and implement you guys into my squares. Because you guys have been playing along all this time, and I've been having so much fun reading your guesses, your suggestions, and I want you guys to be a part of my blanket too. So go ahead and put some more inspiration in the comment section for me to write down. I've got a legal pad next to my recliner on the shelf, bookshelf right there, where I keep all my crochet bits and bobs and supplies and stuff. and some patterns and books and whatever. And I've been writing them on there and going through them, and I've been putting your names next to them so that I can implement you guys one at a time, one at a time. So yes, we drew an evil eye. And I know we've had several people, and I don't remember, I'll have to look, um, that have said to put an evil eye on a square, but I don't remember who they are. So we got an evil eye, and we are not covering it up. So that is going to be day 60 square. You guys have seen it. No big surprise tomorrow, right? So I guess with that, unless I do something with these, one never knows. So yeah. So I guess with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I need a drink. Um, because I'm going to get ready to go down to the art walk and see what kind of fun stuff is down there. And I'll probably only go for about an hour ish and get my frozen coffee drink, my almond joy frappuccino, and walk around and look at some awesome local art and meet some local artisans. And yeah, and then come home and work on some more inspiration from you guys. Because remember, I have squares I have to work on that we pulled in advance for while I'm gone on vacation that I need to do. So, with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you have a great rest of your Friday. And if I don't see you tomorrow or Sunday because you're too busy, I hope you have a great weekend. And if I do, come back tomorrow for day 60, and we'll talk about some inspiration you guys gave down in the comment section, and see if we did anything with these witchy legs and boots that apparently she is the jolly green giant when it comes to my blanket. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I love you guys bunches. Take care, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.